All right, this is the video solution guide to the Mixed Ionic Nomenclature Review for Unit 4. And so there are going to be some binary ionic type 1, binary ionic type 2, and then some with polyatomics in them. All right, this first one, we've got iron there. Notice iron has multiple charges, so we need to unzip this guy. That NO3 is a polyatomic, so this 3 stays with the NO3. There's an understood 1 that goes up here. That is nitrate. It is 1 minus, so that's good. 3 goes up there. Iron, Roman numeral 3, nitrate. And realize that this 3 is the Roman numeral, the charge of the metal. This one, notice calcium is always 2 plus, so that therefore you don't need to mention it. You just name this guy. Calcium, and then SO4 is on your polyatomic ion list. Sulfate. This one is just binary ionic type 1, so you just name the metal, name the nonmetal. Sodium, and then chlorine becomes chloride. Okay, this guy, potassium is always 1 plus, so you just name it potassium. And then SO4, sulfate. SRO, strontium is representative, so we just name this. Strontium oxide. TiCl4, titanium is has multiple charges, so we need to determine which one it is. There's an understood 1 here that goes up to chlorine. This 4 goes up to titanium. Chlorine is 1 minus, so titanium therefore is 4 plus. Titanium, Roman numeral 4, which is IV, chloride. KClO, potassium is always 1 plus, we're just going to name this. Potassium, and then ClO is a polyatomic hypochlorite. So potassium hypochlorite. MnO2, we need to determine what manganese's charge is because it has many of them. Okay, there's an understood 1 that goes up here to the oxygen. There's a 2 that goes over to the manganese, but the thing you have to recognize, oxygen isn't 1, it's 2, so if you double 1, you got to double them both. This is manganese 4, which is IV oxide. Manganese 4 oxide. It's not telling you there's 4 manganese or even 4 oxygen. Here's another way to think about it, right? So here's manganese with a 4 plus. Here's oxygen with its 2 minus charge. When they cross, 2 comes down here, 4 goes over there. 2 and 4 you must simplify because they're both divisible by 2. So it's MnO2. That is manganese 4 oxide. MgO, magnesium's representative. Magnesium oxide. Okay. All right, this one, cobalt has more than 1 charge, so we need to determine which charge it has. So cobalt goes over here. This MnO4 is a polyatomic called permanganate. Okay. There's an understood 1 here that goes up to the permanganate. Permanganate does happen to be 1 minus, so that means this 2 goes up to cobalt. Cobalt, Roman numeral 2, permanganate. Okay, going on here with SnSO4 parentheses 2. So tin has more than 1 charge. We got to figure out what it is. We're going to put tin here. Sulfate goes here. There's an understood 1 that goes here to the sulfate. This 2 goes over to the tin. Only problem is sulfate isn't 1, it's 2. So if you double 1, you double them both, kind of like the one we just did earlier. So this is tin, Roman numeral 4, sulfate, tin 4 sulfate. This one, francium is representative, so you just name it. Francium, and then Cl is chloride, francium chloride. Okay, we're to the bottom half where we were writing formulas from names. So manganese 2, this Roman numeral tells me the charge of manganese, because notice it has many charges. It can either be 2, 3, 4, 6, or 7. Well, this one happens to be 2. Nitride, notice it ends with IDE. That means it's just the element nitrogen. It has a charge of 3 minus. So Mn, this 3 comes down here. This 2 goes to the end, so they cross. So Mn3, N2. That is manganese 2 nitride. Lithium phosphate. Lithium is always 1 plus. Phosphate, because it's ATE, is a polyatomic. It's PO4 and it's 3 minus. Right, the metal first, the non-metal after it. The 1 goes there. That's understood. You don't have to do it. The 3, you just put here. So Li3PO4 is lithium phosphate. Ammonium chloride. Ammonium, that's the polyatomic cation that we use. So NH4, and it has a 1 plus charge. Chlorine is 1 minus. Equal and opposite, they cancel. NH4Cl, ammonium chloride. Copper 2 chlorite. This is telling me copper's charge is 2 plus. Chlorite is a polyatomic. It's ClO2. And be very careful when you're looking these up, because there's chlorate, chlorite, perchlorate, hypochlorite, all very similar. This one happens to be chlorite. Copper goes first. The chlorite goes second. This 2 goes down here. And to prevent that from looking like 22, you slap this guy in parentheses. This 1 goes there, and it's understood. So it's Cu, parentheses, ClO2, parentheses 2. That is copper 2 chlorite. Lithium oxide. Lithium's always 1 plus. Oxygen is 2 minus. Li2O. Iron 2 iodide. This tells me iron's charge is 2 plus. Iodine is always 1 minus. This 2 drops down here. FeI2. Calcium phosphate. Calcium is always 2 plus. Phosphate is a polyatomic. It's PO4 and its charge is 3 minus. Calcium is written first. Phosphate is written second. This 2 comes down here. To prevent it from looking like 42, you slap that guy in parentheses. 3 goes here. So it's Ca3, parentheses PO4, parentheses 2. Calcium phosphate. Titanium 4 bromide. That tells me titanium's charge is 4 plus. Bromine is always 1 minus. You write the metal first, non-metal second. 4 goes down here. 1 goes over there. TiBr4. Magnesium oxide. Magnesium is always 2 plus. Oxygen is always 2 minus. Equal and opposite, they cancel. MgO. Iron 3 chromate. This tells me iron's charge is 3 plus. Chromate is CrO4 and it has a 2 minus charge. Metal goes first. Non-metal is second. This 3 comes over here. Parentheses. 2 goes here. So it's Fe2, parentheses CrO4, parentheses 3. That is iron 3 chromate. Copper 1 sulfide. That tells me copper's charge is 1 plus. Sulfur is always, because it's just sulfur, it's 2 minus, IDE. Copper goes first, the sulfur goes second. 2 goes here. 1 goes there, Cu2S. Copper 1 sulfide. And that's it.